Hello, everybody, and welcome to episode 82 of the 40k Badcast. My name is Dan Boyd, and I am joined, as always, by he's flaky, he's delicious, he just crumbles and melts in your mouth and buttery. It is, of course, Puff McPastry.
Oh, okay. I would have gone with croissant McPastry, but that works too.
Oh, yes.
I probably shouldn't relate quite as much to a thin, flaky object that's mostly air as I do.
I don't know, man. Puff pastry, let's just get this out of the way at the top of the show. Fucking rules. And if you don't like puff pastry, I will fucking puff your pastry.
Okay, so... Yeah, that sounds.
Yeah, that didn't really.
I don't think that sounded as threatening from your mouth as it did in your head. If anything, that sounds dependent on one's taste. That could be rather pleasant.
Yeah, that one didn't really work, did it? Didn't land.
Yeah, it's like saying you'll butter someone's biscuit. It's please don't make me beg. I wish you would.
Is that a threat or a promise?
Yes to both.
Okay. Enough of that. That's gonna be that. You know, that's gonna be a fun one to revisit in the Name Game 2020.
Looking forward to it.
All right, Auspex, what's on our hobby radar? Here we go. Hobby progress, my dude. I am almost done. I'm on the final highlight of my second Redemptor.
Hell yeah!
It actually isn't too bad painting this thing because it's just one model. The trouble I'm getting into right now is like holding it correctly and not just blasting my highlights off the model with my stupid fucking fingers.
Well,
I've got the XL painting handle.
The XL butt plug, yeah.
But like you still when you're painting like the top of it and stuff, it's like far enough away from the handle that you can't get a good handle. On it, and god damn it, this fucking soundboard is so bad. It's the worst idea.
I enjoy that you just keep leaning into it week after week after week.
God. The lamest, corniest motherfucker on the planet.
I'm so glad we could be the 40k podcasting world's morning zoo. Now we just need an awooga and a shorter toilet flush sound effect.
No, god damn it. I will not reduce the sound or the length of the toilet flush sound effect. It is there for a reason. It's supposed to make you feel bad when you hear it.
A lot of things in the show make me feel bad when I hear them, but tell me more about your Dreadnought.
Anyways, so that's really the only problem I'm running into right now. It's painting up pretty quickly, and man, I'm really excited to get this thing done. Shouldn't be much more than one more evening of work.
Nice.
Or for me, late night of work. And then I can get transfers on it, then I can get it all sprayed up and everything, and it'll be ready to go.
Nice.
Right on the heels of the new Marine Codex. But we'll get to that in a minute, my man. Have you done any hobby I know you have, and I'm like kind of mad at you for it.
Yeah, because you got a while ago, I posted like a work in progress picture of some eradicators I was working on. You're like, you're going to finish your second squad of them before I do. And I did. I finished the second group of 3 eradicators. So now I can chase the meta for a hot minute, like I'm playing many games.
Well, the sad thing is, like, I started my first 3 before you, and now you're done with your second 3, and I haven't even started my second 3, and I'm like, fuck, man. Fuckman. I'm a fuckman.
Yeah, you're no longer a fuck boy. You had a birthday recently. You are a fuckman now.
Yeah, I did have a birthday. September 26th, aka the Christmas in September, the greatest day of all days. It was good. It was good. I'm 35 now, which I feel that the last vestiges of youth have fled from my mortal meat prison.
Well, this Flesh Gundam over here turns 30 in a week, so I'll be joining you in old man territory real soon.
Yeah, okay, fucking 1990. Yeah, keep thinking that.
Sure. I've got to think about something else, don't I?
Man, we are like, I like the vibe over here in this basement. Just got like, I don't know, more flesh prison, my meat prison. Yeah.
I mean, you're in your basement prison underneath underneath your ground prison, in your meat prison. It's just layers of prisons all the way down.
I'm allowed to leave this basement whenever I want. In fact, I'm sure my wife would appreciate it if I did more than I do. Anyways, I'm interrupting your hobby progress. Other than your highly successful Eradicator painting project, what have you done?
Well, I also painted my second group of Assault Intercessors. I found a really cool thing for doing heraldry, which is searching on Instagram for the Perry Miniatures hashtag, just because it's all historicals, and just finding cool flags from that and copying those.
Just stealing their work.
Absolutely. That's what I'm here for.
Why do any of the research or thinking yourself when you can just take somebody else's work and
so the problem is
reappropriate it for your own?
I mean, yes, that's called research, Dan. Didn't you go to school? But the thing is, when you have like 20-something units of characters, squads, etc., you start to run out of ways you can have and quarter the same 4 colors. And I'm starting to run out of these. So I'm starting to rip off from everywhere else. So speaking of heraldry, heraldic devices, and so on, I also started my Blade Guard Ancient and my first 3 Blade Guard Veterans from Ultramarines. And after I finish these guys, I'll have the Blade Guard Captain, and I'll be done with my Indomitus. Well, one of my Indomitus sets.
Yeah, so we won't be done with Indomitus.
I'll be done with the Ultramarine Indomitus. The rest are going to go to my Templars, I think.
Ooh, buddy.
I might move the bikes over to the Ultras if I get the Biker Chaplain, but I don't know.
You got to go get yourself some little jeweler's chains there so you can have the Templars chaining all their weapons to their fists.
I think I'm going to have to do that, and I think that'll be super fun.
I feel like for the Templars, I mean, you haven't really gone in on a modeling project in a while.
Not really.
Why don't you do some converting and some kit bash for your Templar? So you don't want to be painting the same fucking models over and over again.
No, I don't. I'm going to be doing some. At least I have like one leftover intercessor who I was going to convert into like a Primaris captain or lieutenant or whatever, and I lost steam. But I've got like a big old bag of bits for when I decide to make this just make their Primaris character because they don't have any Primaris in them yet.
I want to challenge you.
Okay.
To do some serious kit bashing and converting for your Black Templar when you start working on them.
I would very much like to do that, actually. So you know what? Challenge accepted, and I will embrace that when I have the opportunity to do so.
Oh, I just got a tingle.
Yeah.
I got a tingle in my dingle. Jesus Christ. I'm sorry.
You're not.
No, I am about that one.
Okay.
That's
Hey, you know what?
You know what? I deserve it.
You know what, Dan?
I'm
You gotta self flush once in a while. I'd say give it another flush just to kind of get the stink out. But I don't want to subject our listeners to that. So just know there was a spiritual second flush in there. And hey, you know what? If you can still feel shame, that means you can feel something, and that means you're doing pretty okay for 2020.
Oh, God. We were talking before the show. Campbell shaved off his wizard beard. I've still got mine, and I hate it, and I want it to go. But it just every time I get in there, and I'm like, all right, do I just shower and get out of here quickly, or do I spend the time and shave? And every single time, it's shower and get out of here quickly because I don't give a fuck.
Yeah, eventually that accumulates, and kind of that not giving a fuck kind of stores itself in the follicles of your beard hair if you don't do something about it. Yeah, not saying you can't have a nice bushy long beard, whatever, but you need to maintain.
It's like drugs. Like it gets in your hair.
Yeah.
Okay.
You don't build up an immunity by doing that, though.
I'm glad everybody's having a fun year.
Hey, I'd say it's an unforgettable year, but it's all a blur because that's how depression works.
I'm just glad everybody's having a really good time out there.
Well, you know what? I did have some good times recently, and I would like to share them with you.
Are we segueing into games played?
That we are. Thank you for drawing attention to that fact.
About to do the exact same fucking thing with the exact same fucking language as you. Congratulations.
It's almost like we talk regularly and have been documenting said conversations for 3 years.
It's almost like that.
Yeah. So
when did we start? We started in
January 2017. So, it's closing in on 4 years.
No, January 2016. No, December 2016.
Yeah.
So, it'll be 4 years this year. God damn it. Where does the time go?
You could play the toilet flushing sound effect again, and I think it would get the point across. But again, I don't want to subject people to that.
Yeah, well.
Anywho,
people are being subjected to all sorts of terrible things out there.
Let's talk about Warhammer.
All right, did you play any games?
Yeah, I played 2 games with Cody on my patio.
Yeah.
They were both Age of Sigmar games, both 2,000 points, his ogres versus my Empire. Now, they were both on a 4x4, just so there's room on the side, because I've got a 4x6 folding table, so there'd be room on the side for like dice trays, books, and so on. And again, this was much like I outlined in the previous episode. This was like our socially distanced outside gaming. So mask up when you're near the table. You take it off if you're far away or whatever. So, and we're both still doing fine. So nothing has been transmitted, which is good. Anyway, the first game, it's my first time playing the Cities of Sigmar Battletome in Age of Sigmar, because I used to play my Empire army in like the old like kind of get you by rules that were in the General's Handbook and so on.
Yeah.
But this is my first time actually playing with their like dedicated rule book, and it went pretty well for much of the game. And this is an army that's really good at screening, and screening is super important in Age of Sigmar. And even with that, like the problem is like if you have a screen that's 20 guys, well, and the ogres cause 18, well, shit, your other 2 guys run away and you just lost a whole bunch of points. What you really need is a bunch of like little 5-10 man units, whatever, to do a lot of little screens.
Okay, so what you're telling me is you're spamming MSUs.
You're not spamming MSUs to actually do your work. You should be spamming them a bit more to take charges and waste other people's effort.
Fucking
because
Campbell McWacklin over here with WAACLIN, fucking friendly backyard games, just like spamming the worst type of army. Let me guess what happened real quick.
Okay.
Cody had his like, I would imagine, beautifully painted thematic ogre army, and he just got fucking raffle stomped by your bajillion 5-man swordsman units, who he has to run over like speed bumps, while your bunch of cannons, hand cannoners, crossbows, and bows, and steam tanks and shit just blast his army off the table.
So you're half right.
Okay.
Maybe a third right, because
third right. Fuck.
Pistoliers, like dudes on horses, they are fucking money. Like I got
so I was off in the way that the guns I talked about were too big.
I focused more on the small guns because my steam tank missed and or failed to wound every shot it took all game.
Perfect.
Which again, a cannon is hit on 4, wound on 2, rend 2, damage d6. Like it's pretty important for killing big things.
Yeah,
and he had a lot of big things.
That sounds pretty good.
Yeah, the dominant strategy is to hit with your guns. But the pistoliers, like they're great because they get to move real fast, they get to shoot, then when they charge, they get to shoot the thing they charged and then fight, which is really fun. So I was able to have them like ride up, drive by some of his better units, charge some of his chaff, and like jump onto objectives and stuff like that. I really want to get another unit of these guys painted up because they are not like, they're effective, they're not gonna like murderize everything, but they're a bit effective and they're really fun to use for an army that's very static a lot of the time.
You gotta have fun.
My big block of 30 handguns, who like, it's like, okay, they hit on 4s, wound on 3s, and they're AP 1 essentially. But when they're that many dudes, they get +1 to hit. And then when you use hold the line with the general, they become +1 to hit and +1 to wound. So you have 30 shots hitting on 2s, wounding on 2s at rend 1 when armor saves aren't super good. So those guys, I just point them at something and it goes away. The problem is they're really, really squishy because they only have a 6-up save, and they can also charge something that, or shoot something that charges them like old Warhammer Fantasy Stand and Shoot. So his giant charged them and they just gunned him down on the way in. So that was pretty cool.
I bet that was fun for Cody.
Oh, he loved that. It was like, oh, cool. The bullshit thing your army's been doing for years. It still does.
I bet Cody had a really good. It sounds like you're playing the Tau of AOS over there.
The thing is, the handgunners are like the only unit in the game that I really can think of that has more or less Overwatch. But I won't quite say it is like playing the Tau because it's a lot more like horde based. It's more like playing Imperial. It's more like playing Imperial Guard transposed into the wrong game.
It's like in playing Imperial Guard when Imperial Guard were good for like the first few months of 8th edition or something.
Yeah, kinda. But like I had a unit of Drakespawn Knights who I used my old Reiksguard Knights as, and I finally got a cavalry charge off. I made the blunder of charging his Stonehorn instead of Squish Your Targets. So they just got mulched. A Demigryph Knights, I got to use them. Those guys fucking rule. Like they have rending and like really strong attacks, and they're pretty durable for the army. And
fresh organic night mulch.
It is the reason my garden is flourishing right now.
Flourishing, even.
Yeah. And I use the...
Not flourishing.
Flourishing. Sure.
Sorry.
It's all right, because fittingly enough, I'm at the skill floor for this army because I did actually not pull this off.
I'm sorry, you're at the skill floor?
Oh, man. I mean, I've painted enough fleur-de-lis in my time to know what I'm talking about.
I mean, don't you mean fleur-de-lis?
It's just a flat plane on a flag. Oh, fuck. So he did end up wearing most of my army down. Like on turn 3, it was neck and neck, but then he got to turn 4. He got turn 4 because you roll off, so you might get a double turn. Yeah. If I got the double turn going into 4, I probably could have won it, but because he did, he was able to cinch it.
Yeah.
Afterwards, I'm kind of like, oh, what did I do wrong? Like, I wanted to look up some strategy and kind of figure out, like, what's up? Because this is an army with a staggering amount of units. Like, there's way too many units and combinations in this book because it is Age of Sigmar's Island of Misfit Toys. Because it's got shit from, like, old Dark Elves, old Dwarfs, old High Elves, old Empire. Nothing new, really, but just kind of like a mix of all these different things. So I go to look up... strategies for the army, and I have a real Pagliacci moment after this because I go to look up these tips, and the only person who's really written much about playing this army is me. I'm like, well, fuck. Guess I got to write the Start Competing next then. Oh,
yeah.
But I feel like if I'm going to write the Start Competing article for Goonhammer, I need to win a game first, because my next game is a kind of similar story. I built an army that was maybe a little better with more of those like small screening units. I upgraded my steam tank to be a steam tank commander. He still failed to hit and wound with those cannonballs every single fucking turn. I properly spaced my dudes out. Like, I played pretty well, except I did like misplace my demigryphs and they got charged by his Stonehorn and all got killed before they could really do anything. Yeah, I took crossbows that were just able to delete one of his monsters in a round of shooting, and although I took the center of the board early on with my screening units of militia, and then I ran up with my pistoliers and swords, he was mulching through a unit or like a few units a turn. So by the 4th turn, I had nothing left really. And we did keep playing it through turn 4, even though it started to rain on turn 3, because again, I'm playing outside and I have not gotten that pop-up tent yet. Largely because I'm probably moving fairly soon. I don't want to have more shit to move. And kind of like the moment that really just kind of sold the game for me was he had this big monster Stonehorn where at the start of every fight phase, it could just cause D6 mortal wounds to just one unit. That just felt like. Yeah. And I charge my general in to kill it, and he just rolls at 6 and kills my general as he runs in. I'm like, fucking cool, whatever, man.
Great.
And yeah, the thing with my army versus ogres is like my army's meant to hold the line. Like they're meant to like kind of tar pit with big ranks of dudes, needle them with low quality attacks and hold them back while you're shooting or flanking units, kind of do the job. But ogres sweep through hordes like nobody's business. So my tar pits don't really get to tar pit. They just kind of get, well, like tar, run over by like a steamroller.
I mean, and, like nobody's business. Sounds like that's ogre business.
That's fair. That's actually extremely fair.
Are you over here saying that ogres are nobody?
I mean, you're the one who said that. You're the one who said the quiet part out loud there.
I listen. I'm just asking questions. All right.
That's fair. I will reconsider my phrasing of that. Ogres sweep through hordes like ogre business and nobody else's. How about that?
Fuck you, Baltimore.
Ogre. Anywho, I had 2 losses, but you know what? I got to hang out with Cody, get some games in on my patio, have some beers outside. It was a pair of lovely hangs with a pair of drubbings for the Empire.
All right.
How about you?
Yeah, I played a couple games, my dude.
Alrighty.
I had a nice screen and porch game against Dylan, a 1,000-point crusade game.
Nice.
Against Dylan. The narrative here is he brought 4 dreadnoughts and I got murdered. 1,000 points, 4 dreadnoughts at 1,000 points. Not a whole lot else. I think he had a librarian, I guess a rune priest, and like a couple of tactical squads, and then a Wolfendread, Bjorn, and 2 Redemptors. And I was just like, oh, fuck. I did not bring enough anti-tank, and I didn't. I had my Redemptor in a squad of Eradicators, but my Eradicators came in, and they just whiffed, dude. They just missed everything.
Because they're Meltaguns.
And I was like,
do.
all right, cool. 6 Meltagun shots coming at your Redemptor, and 1 hit. Oh, that's not good. Roll for wound. Doesn't wound. Oh, that's not good. I was like, all right, well, that's game.
Yep, that sounds about right.
And it was. That was it. The rest of the game was him just rolling through and smashing the shit out of the rest of my army. But Dylan's a great guy, and we had a good time, so can't complain too much. The second game I played was a 2,000-point matched play game against our friend Alfredo.
Oh, cool.
He moved to the area a little while ago, and I went out to his house and played a game against his Eldar, and I completely fucking stomped him. He's nice enough to invite me out to his house, take me on a tour, and, have hospitality and all that shit. And how do I repay him? By beating the shit out of his space elves.
I mean, when someone opens up a font of kindness for you, you have no recourse but to assert your dominance over them.
Yes, that's what I did. Hopefully we can do it again in the future. It was a good time, though. Alfredo's a great guy, and I had fun. It was a good time. Though I had to like rush back and stuff because I thought a thing that I had to do was happening half an hour before it was actually happening. So that was kind of lame, but it's all right.
Yeah. Still got a good hang out of it.
Yeah, man. All right, let's talk about some new stuff. So Necromunda got 3 new models for 4, I guess, if you count the Cyber Mastiff. We got 4 new models for Necromunda. The Rogue Doc. Well, let me try that again. The Rogue Doc, the Lookout. I tried to say Doc and Lookout at the same time. Didn't work. Rogue Doc, Lookout, and Scrutinator Primus Surveillance. Sounds like surveillance. Ooh, now you're figuring it out. They went on sale for Forge World and immediately all sold out before I could grab any.
I mean, they're really fucking cool. So can you blame them?
No, I can't. I'll just wait till they re-up on those. But those are great models. I mean, I love all the and so do you, all the fucking necro weirdos and stuff all over the place. Those are
that's
a lot of fun to have and a lot of fun to paint. Though I still don't like the Rogue Doc that much, to be honest. We talked about this in our episode entitled "The Tactical Tube Top."
Yep.
I think, I don't know. It's just a little too look at the sexy lady model.
Yeah,
it's not really into that.
It's a little cheesecakey. I'm not gonna lie, but again, like. It's also Necromunda and not like she's, a guard officer in uniform. So it doesn't feel quite as wackadoo to me. But yeah, I still do get a similar feeling. Also, I just noticed that she has like doctor's gloves on and her unzipped scrubs also have gloves. So is she wearing gloves under the gloves?
I mean, she's a doctor, Campbell, and you've got to take your... you got to take your disinfecting seriously. I'd like to point out, on the other hand, like the Scrutinator Primus Surveillance model is another female model and not cheesecake whatsoever.
Nope, not at all. And I like that she has the helmeted and unhelmeted head. Like they're both really. It's such a killer model.
Yes, they have done a bang up job,
and the hard dog rules too.
Oh yeah, the metal dog. Metal dog is scary. I don't like that.
I like the model.
We're going to talk a lot about dogs later in this episode, so get ready, dog lovers. Okay, so Tactical Deployment and Beyond the Veil went up for sale last weekend, and I bought them both. They're arriving at my house this weekend. We could talk about this stuff later when we get it, but there's already problems with the whole tactical deployment thing. They spell it out over at goonhammer.com, which you should go and check out. So we're not going to get into it too much, but I'm not so excited about this product. I'll just say that. We'll talk about it more in a later show, but I'm not feeling it.
Okay. Yeah, that's kind of that's conducive with my initial feelings when they revealed it. Although the Beyond the Veil campaign book is apparently pretty damn cool.
Yeah, that's the one I'm really excited for.
Yeah,
love that crusade. A lot of fun. All right, so more fucking action figures get released. This time by McFarlane Toy Company.
Yep.
Which did the Spawn series.
Yeah, and
if I remember back in the day, I don't know. I never really was into Spawn. Yeah, I remember there was a movie with John Leguizamo as the fat clown guy.
Yeah, that's the thing. I can't remember who played Spawn or anything else about it, but I can remember John Leguizamo as like a Technicolor clown.
One of our finest performers, John Leguizamo. I actually like John Leguizamo a lot, so I don't want to talk shit.
It's Luigi Mario himself.
Yeah, Sister of Battle action figure, a Necron action figure, another Space Marine action figure. Yeah, it's happening, man.
The problem is the ones they've sold so far have been available for like a week on Games Workshop, and they aren't things I'm going to buy right now. They're things I would impulsively pick up or have bought for me as a gift at some point in the future. Not this like gotta get it right now while you still can. We're only making 100 of them sort of things. Like I'm not crazy about the release of these sorts of things.
Yeah, it's not my scene either.
They look cool. I dig them as far as toys go, but I'm probably not going to end up getting one unless somehow one finds its way towards me at some indeterminate point in the future.
Yeah, so also this weekend, the new codices for Marines and Necrons go on sale. So we'll get those in about a week and a half. Very excited for that.
Yeah, I'm pretty stoked about that, along with a bunch of new models for them. They're nothing we haven't seen before at this point, but I'm still pretty stoked about a lot of them. But the thing that I was surprised by was the new menagerie of bad dice coming out for Imperial Fists, Salamanders, Iron Hands, Raven Guard, and I think that's it.
Oh, hell yeah.
They are so bad.
They're terrible. Them. Okay, all right, let's talk about dice real quick. Before we get into the Space Marine dice, let's talk about the Necron dice.
Okay.
What are your thoughts?
They are exactly what I thought they would be. They look kind of like the cubes on the Chronomancer's back.
Yep.
They're kind of hard to read,
Perfect.
But I like the double layer effect on them. I think it's actually very cool looking.
It reminds me of the Nurgle dice.
Yeah, but not as grody.
Yeah. The Necron dice look pretty cool. Are they two symbols?
Yeah, it's the Necron symbol on the 6 and the Necron skull on the 1.
Oh, I hate the two symbol dice.
Yeah.
Okay. If you have pips on your dice, which of course pips are the little dots that show you how much the roll is, you got to go with one symbol and one symbol only. You can't you go one symbol or you go all symbols like Blood Bowl blocking dice.
Yep. You
don't fuck around with multiple symbols and pips at the same time. And I got to tell you, bud, I'm real fucking tired of this bullshit. I just bought the 30k Raven Guard dice.
Yep.
And I'm going to buy the fucking Raven Guard dice. I'm going to do it because I'm a fucking mark.
Yeah. Well,
that's one thing. Last show. Sorry, because we record 2 weeks apart. So we always say last week, but it's always 2 weeks.
I mean, time is more elastic and meaningless now than it has been at any point in recorded, in at least my memory. So just fucking roll with it.
Well, we mentioned our good friend, former Badcast fan.
Yeah.
Former Badcast fan did, in their excellent comment on our show, did call us shills for Games Workshop, but I just want to correct that. We're not fucking shills. Shills get paid, okay? Yeah. We are marks.
Yeah, we're pay pigs.
Or rubes, or fucking idiots, or whatever you want. Mark, the wrestling terminology, we mark out for Games Workshop. And so just get your facts straight, former Badcast fan, all right? We're not shills. We're fucking marks. So get on board. Anyways, yeah. The Space Marine dice, two symbols on both of them. They have the apothecary symbol for the 1s and then the chapter symbol for the 6s. It's stupid. I hate them. I'm going to buy them.
They're $35.
Thanks. I hate it. Take my money.
The difference is with the Ultramarines ones, every side is a symbol. And my favorite is that the big Devastator symbol that it looks like a big V symbolizing 5 is on the 4 side. Because 5 is the elite symbol. They're fucking incredible. I love the Ultramarines dice. The weird thing is the square shape of them and the size of them, like they're very satisfying to roll.
Yeah.
But good Lord, are they difficult to read? And like whenever I'm playing with somebody, there's kind of like, sure, whatever you say, man. Now the thing is with these, none of these go quite as far as those. They're like the Iron Hands one looks like it has little cogs for all the pips. Okay, fine, and again, Apothecary 1 hand on the 6. The Raven Guard 1, Raven Guard on the 6. Bird skulls for the pips. Like that's pretty cool. The Imperial Fist one is just a fist with lightning bolts in every direction, which is very confusing to look at. I really wish that the one was actually just the Imperial Fist gauntlet, but giving the finger.
Oh, that would have been great.
Oh, it would have been so cool. Somebody out back on Something Awful way back in the day had dice where the ones all just said your face on them.
My friend Scott has dice where all the ones say fuck.
Yeah, perfect. Exactly. But like the real
Wait, the Raven Guard pips are skull are bird skulls?
Yeah, they're bird skulls.
Oh man, I don't even hate these anymore. Now I'm into them.
Yeah, that's the thing that kind of rule. Now the thing is the Salamanders ones, it's like the same flame symbol with the different number of like charcoal briquettes on it.
Oh yes, that's excellent.
It's illegible. Like it's again, I haven't actually played with these, but I can see that's like it's taking up almost the exact same amount of space, which is these little flaming turds, and it is so hard to read them. Like,
God damn it, I love terrible dice.
I adore this. Like, I adore how bad the dice are.
This is perfect. Just the worst products for the stupidest people.
And us.
Yeah, exactly.
Other than that, they showed off another Escher weapon pack, which is kind of like they get like a 4th now, and
they get a 4th. Oh yeah.
Along with
and some new champion models. Yeah.
The champions are pretty dope. We've seen some of them before, but they're pretty dope.
Fucking rich get richer over here. One of these is fucking tight. The sword, the 2-handed sword.
Oh, I love that 2-handed sword.
Like that's good shit.
That's my shit right there.
Man, I hope they come out with a 4th Orlok pack, so I have to buy more Orloks. Fuck. Oh, well. All right. Well, that's it for new stuff. Let's move on to We Make the Call. And I just want to say something real quick. Thank you, listeners. The literal dozens of you telling me about the stupid fucking cartoons from last episode. Campbell, we get a lot of engagement when we talk about pop culture shit from the 1980s.
Especially when we get it wrong.
Yeah, well, that wasn't much of getting it wrong as like we didn't know.
Yeah, although the intro to Jason the Wheeled Warriors fucking rules.
Yeah, it's pretty fucking wild. And then there's that old wizard dude who like licks his tongue and draws a 1 in the air. Yeah. What the fuck is that?
I have reaped 1 soul today.
Does he do that every time he straight fucking murders someone? All right, well,
hell yeah. I love like Battle Car Murder Wizard. Very much here for Battle Car Murder Wizard.
I was right though. There's like cars that fight, but also plants. Like,
they're also plants. Yeah,
I was on it. Okay. All right. So this episode's WMDK is from Patty Evans, who he talks to us quite a bit via email, and Patty says, "40k Inc. I'm pretty pleased with my Imperial Fists Legion tattoo." That makes one of us, fucko. but have bent the truth by saying it's a Legion tattoo from a famously stubborn and intractable Legion when asked about it, saying they reflect my personality and letting folks assume it's a Roman reference. How do you guys feel about 40k Inc., especially given the way a lot of imagery could be misconstrued in the modern world? And do you have any, or would you consider any for yourselves? Oh
boy.
Patty, do we have surprises for you?
Yeah.
What about explaining it to non-gamer folks as it's not the same deal as Iron Man or Jedi or whatever? Let's start with the first little question here. How do you guys feel about 40k Inc.? Campbell, why don't you take a swing at that answer, bud?
Well, Patty Evans, you clearly haven't been listening to all of our back catalog, because one of the first stories I ever tell is about how I got my first tattoo, which is a Crux Terminatus on my left shoulder, because that's where it is on Terminator armor, and how in the process of getting that tattoo, I passed out and vomited, which that was cool, man.
Yeah,
but
it was cool to hear you talk about that and then cackle.
Yeah, because I mean,
at your weak constitution.
I failed my feel no pain save. I get it.
Yeah.
But yeah, like, I love the tattoo. I think it looks cool as hell. Like, the issue is, yeah, it does look, to the uninitiated, a little fashy, for lack of better term. And in the case of you having an Imperial Fist one, if you're like, oh, this is a Roman Legion thing, I think the connotations socially right now are probably better to be, this is some nerd shit I don't feel like explaining, than this is a force of like early Western imperialism or whatever. I think 40k tattoos, gaming tattoos, etc., like nerd tattoos, whatever, I think they're cool. Like, it's something you are passionate enough about to endure hours of, designing and pain and all that stuff to get put on your body. But you do have to understand that, like, if people ask questions, you need to kind of know what you're saying. And you need to be prepared to answer that question over, what is that kind of dodgy looking thing on your body represent? And be like, oh, it's some nerd shit. Don't worry about it.
All right. So my eyes have actually rolled out of my head for this because I disagree with you completely on that.
Don't you have a Chaos Star on you somewhere?
I have a Chaos Star on me, but it's not explicitly 40k.
Okay.
It's more of, well, okay. So straight up, the reason you get tattoos is so they look scary and you scare away evil spirits. I mean, that's it. That's why you get tattoos.
Okay.
So I've got a lot of tattoos, and mine are all scary, so the evil spirits don't come and bother me.
Okay.
Them's the rules. I don't make them. That's how it works. You don't have scary tattoos, Campbell. You've been plagued by evil spirits your entire life because of this.
Moving next to a graveyard may have been a questionable choice on my part then.
Very, very questionable judgment there. Okay. How do I feel about nerd tattoos and stuff? I don't give a fuck. I hate tattoos. I have a lot and I hate them. And I hate them because people always want to talk about their stupid fucking tattoos. And I never want to hear it. Never, ever, 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 ever want to hear it. I don't care. Oh, you got some fucking like real important shit on you? Great, man. Keep it to yourself.
It's kind of like telling someone about your D&D character unless they ask.
It's like telling, like when you have a dream and then you have to tell somebody about your dream. Like, oh my God, I hate that shit. Like, oh, I had a dream where I was doing this and this. Oh, fucking shut up, man. I don't care about your goddamn dream.
Let me share something with you that you could not experience that only made sense in the moment in my consciousness. And I only half remember it. And also I've forgotten it now.
Everybody assumes my tattoos have meaning. None of my tattoos have any fucking meaning. Most of them are random bullshit that I just picked or told the artist to fucking go hog wild with.
I mean, the ones I've got in my arms of like a Triceratops and saber-toothed tiger skull with a bunch of succulents, I'm like, okay, these are like two of my favorite prehistoric creatures. I think they look cool. I want some stuff around them that looks pretty.
Oh my God, will you shut up about your fucking tattoos? Always.
So like 15
Always
words.
about your fucking tattoos.
Never stop talking about my ink. I can't stop talking about my ink.
You fucking like, what is wrong with you?
A lot of things. That's why I go to therapy.
Okay. So clearly I'm being hyperbolic here. I think nerd tattoos are fine. And honestly, like nowadays, like if I had like a Raven Guard tattoo or something and somebody was like, what is that? Like if I was not feeling like, chippy, because there's a lot of times people are like, hey, what does that tattoo mean? And I'm just like, fuck off, dude. I'm not telling you. But if I wasn't feeling too chippy, I'd get out there and be like, yeah, it's from a game that I like. And if they're like, well, what game? And then you sigh deeply to express the fact that, oh my God, do I have to explain what Warhammer 40,000 is to you? A
Yahoo on the bus.
A normie.
It's really like, how much time do you got?
Like that's the one thing about 40K, man, is that like when somebody like if somebody I know mentions that I have a podcast and a normie is like, well, what's your podcast about? It's always like, oh, do I have to go into it?
I just say I do a comedy gaming podcast with a friend of mine.
Hey, I'm going to steal that.
Because here's the thing. No one's going to ask about that any further because it's like, oh, cool. You and every other white dude. Neat. Bye.
I'm going to start making I do a podcast about cakes. No, that's too interesting.
Yeah, someone will actually go for that.
I do a podcast about actuary tables.
No, my podcast called Bakes and Cakes is where I pair different strands of weed with different kinds of cake.
I would listen to that fucking podcast. I don't even smoke a lot of weed.
That would be like...
Or eat a lot of cakes.
Well, we got to get working.
Okay. I think it's fine to have tattoos of what you like. If you like something enough to tattooed. Like, I don't give a shit about, like, that's another thing. People are like, oh, I want to get the perfect tattoo. I hate it. I hate it. I have poop on fire tattooed on my body permanently.
One could argue that is the perfect tattoo, actually.
I went in, not even went in. I went to my friend Drew's house, and he was like, hey, I'm trying to become a tattooer. Can I practice on you? And I was like, fucking whatever, dude.
Yeah, I'm out of oranges.
He was like, what do you want? And I'm like, I don't fucking know. Whatever. And then he drew a pile of poop and put flames on it.
Swell.
And that's my story. All right. So I was just talking about tattoos there. So now I'm a hypocrite. All right. Thanks for writing in, Patty. That was a fun little diversion there. Yeah. All right. We're moving on. So, you know how we talked about the stupid sandwich earlier in the episode catalog there?
Stupid lasagna, stupid sandwich. Yeah.
Yeah. So this one was just all stupid all the way down.
Hell yeah, it's all killer, no filler, or all filler, no killer. Really, it's up to you.
All right, here's our first segment. It's called Primarchs as Dogs.
This one's for the horn dogs.
So what we're going to do is we're going to go through all the 18 Primarchs, and we're going to give our opinions of what kind of dogs they would be if they were dogs. So I just wanted to top of the segment here. I just want to say I don't know enough about dog breeds to really pull this off. So there's going to be a little bit of reaching going on here.
Well, it's going to be a two-way reach because I know fuck all. I basically be like, what is this, like, Google top 10 dumbest dogs? I'll write that one.
All right. I forgot the name of the film Oliver and Company also. So I had to do a Google search for Billy Joel dog movie.
Oh God. That's mostly right. It is also Billy Joel cat movie, but it is Billy Joel dog movie.
Okay, let's start out with Lion L. Johnson and Campbell. I invite you to go first here.
It's a dog, but his name is Lionel. So it clearly, like, logically, it should be a dog, like a noble dog, like a Doberman, but I kind of think now it should just be like Cat Dog from the Nickelodeon animated series Cat Dog, starring Cat Dog.
Listen, bud, you got to take logic. You got to fold it up like you would to put it in an envelope. Go ahead and put it into an envelope and shove it in a fucking mailbox. It's out. It's gone for this segment. Don't bring logic into this, please.
Okay, Lionel Johnson is a, like, cat dog, but made of flesh.
I got Irish Setter for Lionel Johnson because he's pretty, but he's also very stupid.
I think you've just summed up a lot of dogs and a lot of Primarchs.
Yeah, I know. You kind of
blew it on the first one there.
Yeah, I had to stop from going back to the well of they're all Irish Setters.
Because, like, really, you could say the answer is they're all good boys, but demonstrably, at least 9 of them are not.
9 of them are not good boys. And if you idiots fucking write in and tell us using your stupid doggo language, that dumb bullshit internet baby talk about fucking Horace being a good boy, I am going to throw my computer off of a bridge. And I'll throw your computer off of a bridge too, fucko. All right, moving on.
Okay.
Fulgrim, what do you got?
Poodle. The most preening, like, perfect poodle you've ever seen, except the weird thing is their owner doesn't groom them, they groom themselves.
Yeah, I got poodle also. Big surprise. Maybe they have their dick out all the time. Maybe they're doing Red Rocket left and right all day, all night.
Big Red Rocket of love. That's Fulgrim.
That's gross. All right, Perturabo, what do you got?
Imagine, like, the fattest, grouchiest looking pug you've ever seen.
Ooh,
like the kind that's like sitting like people.
I used to live with a pug back when I lived in a house with my metal bandmates. His name was Heavy.
Hell yeah.
He was actually a very nice dog, a very good dog, but he was like a fat little pug.
Good boy.
That works. I went with, remember Toy Story, the movie Toy Story?
Yeah.
I went with, one of the characters, the mean kid from next door, has one of those, like, really gross looking dogs.
Yeah.
They're called bull terriers.
Okay. Have
you seen these fucking things?
Yeah, I have.
They're terrible.
Yep.
I'm sorry, gang. If you're like a bull terrier fan out there, I'm sorry. Like they're still dogs. I still love them. They're still nice and friendly, whatever. But oh my God, they look like the pyramid head of dogs.
Yeah, they very much look like aliens.
It's just an awful creature.
Yeah, their eyes.
I'm sorry. Again, not like not in a like I hate them or anything. It's just not a good look.
I do not think they're a visually appealing dog.
Let's take a doorstop and put it on a dog's body
and give it two beady little marble eyes.
Yeah. So because Perturabo is gross and terrible and ugly and awful. So he's a gross, terrible, ugly, awful dog.
Makes sense.
All right. Jagati Khan, who we got?
Greyhound. Some kind of racing dog. It's got to be a racing dog.
Yeah, a Whippet, perhaps.
Yeah.
I had Whippet just because Whippet's fun to say.
Yeah, and because they're the thing you do before every episode.
Oh, if only. Oh my God, I haven't done Whippets in years.
Oh, powerful dirtbag energy.
Oh man, in high school, here's the story for you. In high school, we used to go on band trips because I was in band in high school, and one of them was to Myrtle Beach, right? Uh-huh. And there was all these like fucking head shops down in Myrtle Beach.
Yep.
You're familiar with a head shop?
Very much so. Where else are you going to get a bong that looks like an alien?
Precisely. So we would like load up on fucking Whippets and balloons there. Like just load up, take them back to the hotel, and spend the one night that we stayed down there just eradicating all of our fucking brain cells. It was amazing. We would get that, and we would go out on the balcony and fucking smoke pot and do Whippets and just be the most insufferable fucking high school students on the planet.
Oh my God. It's
one time.
It's amazing that you as a teenager was just like Dermot from the Venture Brothers.
One time my friend, he was like, yeah, I'm gonna make pot brownies, and this motherfucker, he goes and he buys those like Little Debbie brownies.
Yeah.
He just sprinkles fucking pot on them. And he's like, they're fucking pot brownies.
Technically, yes. In the same way that peanut butter and jelly is not the same substance, but it is together. Yes.
Do you expect me to eat this, motherfucker? Oh, yeah, they didn't taste that good.
Yeah, no, you don't say. I just sprinkled some oregano on some Twinkies. They're oregano Twinkies.
Okay. Jagati Khan, we got it. Whip it. We're going to whip it.
Cool.
All right. Lehman Russ, my note for this one is, God damn it. Because at this point in the exercise in my notes, I realized how stupid this is.
Like a quarter of the way through.
I was like, fuck.
So, all right. So what kind of dog do you got for this?
I got a fucking wolf, dude. What else?
Okay, because I got like that mutt that your like dirtbag friend says, like, oh yeah, he's part wolf, and I know I say I saved him, but really he saved me. Like it really seems like that kind of like dirtbag dog man energy.
Any dog that happens to be in a van. How about that?
a dog conceived, born, and adopted in a van.
Just like because like there's like some. All right. So one of the things that I hate about modern life are Instagram influencers.
Yep.
Are you familiar with these people?
Very much so, unfortunately.
And like every now and then you'll see one will crop up and there's like, oh, I converted a van and I'm just living out my van and I'm just driving across the country and I've got like 2 kids, a wife, and like 3 pets, and we're all living in this van. And I'm thinking to myself, what the fuck is wrong with you?
You're an influencer. Buy a house.
You cannot have enough space for all these animals and humans in your van.
My shaggin' wagon clearly sits 8.
So that's like the dog that goes along with an influencer is like Lehman Russ to me.
Okay, that makes sense. I mean, he is
like a dog with his own fucking Instagram page.
Yeah. Oh my God, I ran alongside at that Fast and Furious 5K. I ran alongside a dog Instagram influencer.
Oh my God.
For what it's worth, they're a very cute Shiba Inu.
That phrase makes me want to cease existing.
Oh no, it's some fucking like grimdark cyberpunk shit. It really is. But
oh my God,
it's where we're at
every day, Campbell. We go further and further from God's light. Every fucking day. All right, let's continue on with this goddamn segment. All right, Rogel Dorn.
Yep.
I got a really mean bulldog.
Oh, okay. All right, that makes sense.
I got a soft spot for bulldogs, though, because they're ugly and they shouldn't exist. It feels a lot like me.
Oh, man. Well, much like a bulldog, you just need a loving home, and you'll be fine. I think Dorn, if anything, is going to be a golden retriever because he's gold, he's bold, he's noble, and he's dumb.
I mean, okay, well, we'll no, I disagree.
Okay.
But, and I'll tell you why in 2 Primarchs. But no, I think Bulldog does it because, like he's mean, and he, like, doesn't let you in. Like, you come to the door, like, because you go to your friend's house or something, you come to the door. This happened to me. It's actually a girl I was dating. Oh, my God, this was in college. I went to the door to go pick her up, and, like, she's got one of the storm doors, one of those glass storm doors, and, like, just sitting there is this fucking bulldog. And normally I'm like, oh, yeah, fucking bulldogs, awesome, they're great. But I see this thing, and I'm like, oh, fuck, this thing's mean. Just looking at it, I was like, this is a mean one. And she's like, opens the door. Oh, come in. And this dog, it just clamps itself to the bottom of my jacket.
Oh, my God.
Like, it jumps up to, like, where my waist is. And I'm 6 foot tall, and I got long legs, too. So this fucking dog, like, got up there and just clamped onto my jacket and was growling. And she's like, don't worry about it. He's fine. He's not mean. He just doesn't like strangers. And I'm thinking, like, girl, your dog is fucking mean. It has jumped up and has clamped its extremely strong jaws onto the bottom of my nice jacket. And I'm just supposed to laugh it off? The fuck out of here. Anyways, that's Rogel Dorn to me.
Okay.
Hot take zone. Conrad Kurz.
Yep.
Let's go.
Particularly angry Chihuahua.
I went with Muttley from the cartoon.
From Wacky Races?
Wacky Races, yeah. He's always snickering. Yeah, I got Muttley.
Okay.
Because he's a fucking cartoon, a clown.
This is our
Fuck out of here, Conrad Kurz.
This is our second car dog.
Ugh. Muttley. I remember those cartoons from when I was a kid. I liked Wacky Races. That was fun.
Yeah, it was fun. It's like Death Race 2000.
What was his human companion? Dastardley?
No, it's not Snidely Whiplash. That was
Dastardly something, right? Okay.
Fucking
to Wikipedia.
Wacky Races. Dick Dastardly. Ooh, that's a good name. Oh, that's a good name.
Oh shit. Whoa.
Oh, fuck yeah.
Oh, I long for the age when Dick was an acceptable name for a fucking human male.
A Dastardly one at that.
Fuck, dude.
Hell
Dick
yeah.
Dastardly. God damn. Can I change my name? Do you think Danielle would divorce me if I changed my name to Dick Dastardly?
Well, the thing is,
let's find out.
If she got to keep Dastardly as the last name, maybe she'd be into that.
Yeah, I don't know. All right. Muttley. Conrad Kurz. Okay. Here's where I got my golden retriever.
Okay.
Sanguinius.
Yep. That makes sense.
Yeah. I mean, because Sanguinius, he's beautiful. He's loved by everybody. He's kind. He's good with kids. He's a golden retriever.
Yeah, that makes sense. I figured I'd already used golden retriever, so I'm like, what's another really pretty dog? And I chose a Samoyed because it's also got that like fluffy down like fur that kind of complements the angel wings. So yeah.
Yeah, it's a good looking dog.
Yeah.
Every now and then though, you see one down here, and like somebody's like walking one of those, or like a husky or a Malamute or something.
Yeah, that's not the place to have
them. I
them.
just want to go up to them. I'm like, yo, move to fucking Canada, please, for your dog. It's always too hot down here.
Yep.
Anyways, all right. Golden Retriever for Sanguinius, Samoyed. They're both good. Ferris Manus.
So I went kind of conceptual with this because the thing with Ferris Manus is he was actually pretty cool, even though his sons, like his fan club, weren't. So I figure it's going to be like a big, tough black lab, but his chapter are basically people wearing big dog shirts.
Oh, nice.
Yeah. I feel like, it's a little headier than some of these.
Okay. There's a lot of good big dog memes out there on the internet. I got Ferris Manus is just like a friendly farm dog, like a schnauzer.
Yeah, that tracks.
Just like a friendly farm dog because he liked to make stuff, he liked to do stuff, and he was a nice fella. So I got nothing bad to say about Ferris Manus.
Yeah.
Now his fan club though. Come on.
They're all wearing big dog shirts that have very specific things about being a forklift operator on them. Or since they're Iron Hands, being a forklift.
All right, Angron.
I figure he's going to be a Rottweiler, and like real-world Rottweilers, he is not inherently violent, but he's a product of his environment.
I got the dog from the movie Sandlot.
Okay, I would have also accepted Cujo.
Who I think was named Hercules or something. I don't know, but like I feel like Angron had to live up to his image. Mm-hmm. You know, like everybody was like, "Oh, he's a crazy berserker," and like Angron was like, "Well, I'm definitely mostly a crazy berserker, but every now and then I got some thoughts banging around in here." It feels like the dog in the Sandlot, where everybody thought he was like a mean killer, but he was just big.
Yeah,
I like that movie, The Sandlot. One of my favorites.
Haven't seen in a long ass time.
Well, you know,
I can.
When was the last time you participated in team sports? When was the last time you fondly remembered participating in team sports?
8th grade when I got kicked off the soccer team for getting in a fight on the field.
Hell yeah, dude.
Yeah, I exited with a bang.
That's what I'm fucking talking about. All right. Rabute Gilliman. What do you got?
German Shepherd, since he's obviously a cop.
Yes, 100% cop dog. I also have him as a Great Dane.
That works.
Because I find Great Danes kind of annoying. Mm-hmm. Because like they get a little old and their skin starts to sag.
Yeah.
And then you like see into the inner eyelid areas under their eyes. Uh-huh. And they're just like drooling and big.
Yeah.
And I used to, live in apartments or whatever. And for some reason, people like to have Great Danes and apartment dogs. Do not fucking at me about Great Danes' suitability in apartments. I don't care. Fuckos. I don't care.
The thing
but
is,
there's like these Great Danes everywhere,
yeah.
and they take monster fucking shits.
Yeah, because they're monster fucking dogs.
And like, of course, it's an apartment, so nobody cleans up after their fucking dogs in the common areas. Mm-hmm. Because why would they? Because it's fucking 11 o'clock at night and it's raining and they're in their pajamas and they're just like, come on, fucko, take a shit so we can go back inside and continue watching Downton Abbey.
The thing is, I'm picturing fucking Marmaduke comics with Reboot Gilliman instead, and it's like, Gilliman, you're too big to fit in a rhino, but you're in there anyway. And he's like, woo.
Yeah, that's great. All right, Mortarian.
It's gonna be a dog that like looks sad all the time and farts a lot, so like an English bulldog, like kind of old English bulldog that has like liver spots on it and such.
Yeah, I've got him clocked as whatever the current world's ugliest dog is. You know how there's a competition for world's ugliest dog?
Yeah, I'm aware.
Yeah, the Mortarian, it's rotating. It's always Mortarian.
Cool.
There's some fucking lookers in that shit, dude.
Yep. All right,
Magnus. He's unreadable,
Yeah.
Inscrutable would be a good word. So I got him as a Shiba Inu.
Okay.
Because those dogs just don't give a shit.
Yeah, they're a lot like, it's kind of like having a fox and a cat as a dog. I figure because Magnus is kind of described as being a giant a lot of the time, he'd be something like a bull mastiff, something like that.
Oh, that was a big ass. I saw a dude walking one of those things the other day. Mm-hmm. Those things are fucking big, dude.
Yeah.
I don't know how y'all have gigantic ass pets like that. Like I got small pets. Small pets are good. You can pick them up. They're on the chair. You say, "Hey, get out of that chair," and they don't want to get out of the chair. You just gently pick them up. How are you going to do that with a 130-pound dog?
Yeah, I do like that Nature's Perfect Killing Machine is about 9 pounds, and I can just pick her up and move her.
Love it. All right.
Horus. I Googled what is the dumbest breed of dog, and I got Basset Hounds, so one of them.
Yeah, I've got a Dalmatian because they look cool, but they're total pains in the ass.
That's fair. Very
Dalmatians
fair.
are they have like a ton of health problems. They shed like crazy, apparently, and they're apparently somewhat ill-tempered too.
Okay.
So that's Horus. Just a complete pain in the ass.
Yep. Well, speaking of pain in the ass, Lorgar. Yeah, I'm picturing, my note here is a Pomeranian, but like a real shitty one that's always wet.
Yeah, always yipping constantly too.
Yeah.
Just never shuts up.
Yeah.
Yeah. Like a grandma dog. You know what I'm talking about? Like how grandmas they always have the worst dogs.
Yeah, because they can't take care of them because they're ancient. Yeah.
Yeah, like a grandma dog. I also have a possum pretending to be a dog.
Oh, that's good. That's good.
He's just there being like, man, I hope these other dogs don't figure out that I'm not a dog and I'm actually a fucking possum.
I'm gonna go burrow in the wall and eat some garbage.
All right. Vulcan.
Saint Bernard. They're just loyal and huge and loving, and they're great.
I got the same thing, but I went with a Newfoundland instead.
Also good. I had a girlfriend in high school whose mom bred Newfoundlands, and there were like 3 of them in a fairly small house at a time, and Newfies drool everywhere, and that drool looks an awful lot like jizz when it dries. Just throwing it out there.
Oh, god damn.
Very compromising as a teenager.
Oh, wow. Yeah, Newfies are great. I had a friend of mine. He had one. They are enormous. Mm-hmm. They're extremely friendly, loyal, and smart, but they drool everywhere, and the shedding, oh my God, the shedding. The amount of hair on that animal is insane.
Yep.
Love Newfoundlands, though. Great dogs.
They're basically cuddly bears.
All right. I found this one kind of hard for Korax.
Oh, he's your boy.
Well,
sort of.
What's a sneaky dog?
Well, yeah, I figure stealthy, probably needs to keep low to the ground. I'm thinking a dachshund.
Oh, that's perfect. I was gonna say a cat in a dog costume because Korax is aloof and he's kind of a loner.
Yeah, that makes sense.
So but dachshund, perfect.
Yep.
Got to be sneaky. Got to get down there. Got to get into those rat holes so they can kill those rats. Mm-hmm. Perfect.
Yeah.
All right. Last one.
So
finally, Jesus Christ, this segment.
You said Shiba Inu for Magnus. I think Alfarius is going to be a Shiba Inu, but specifically one from a meme that says they're doing a heckin' bamboozle or something of the sort.
I've got a dog in a clown costume, but sad.
No, I think 2 dogs on top of each other in a people costume.
What about those? What about those fucking creepy gray dogs that person like to take pictures of? Weimaraners. Yes. Okay. You're at your computer. Look up Weimaraner.
Oh, those dogs?
Are you seeing this fucking thing?
They do have human eyes.
They have they're fine. They're not terrible.
No, they're kind of they're cute, but there is something a little uncanny valley about them.
They all look the fucking same.
Yeah.
Too. Because they're just gray. They're good looking dogs or whatever. And they're cute and stuff. And I'd love to pet one, but they all look the same. And they have these pale blue eyes, and it's just a little too creepy, a little too human.
The spice is flowing, and their puppies do look a little like tiny hippos, which is pretty cool.
All right, so we got it. That's it, gang.
For more pet-based content, check out our latest Patreon episode.
Yeah, we did the 40k Badcast where we talk about our pets, and we even have a guest, our friend John Curtin, on that one. So get to the old Patreon and sign up to listen to us talk about pets.
Peep that more. Patreon. Yeah,
we did it already for a while. Wow, Campbell, that was a fucking segment, huh?
That was a bit more in depth than I was expecting, but there was conversation to be had. It was contentious at times.
All right, so we're gonna go a little topical here. All right, for our next segment.
This one is based on an email sent in by Richard McKay, who wrote a fanfic about us fucking. And I'll just say it. He says, out of nowhere, GW CEO Kevin Roundtree announces his sudden retirement, and equally out of nowhere, GW announces that their next CEO will be selected by a popular vote, with the GW fan base as the voters. Against all odds, Dan and Campbell win their primaries, and the race comes down to them. Facing off in a GW presidential debate, how will you convince voters to support you in your bold vision for the future of Games Workshop? What are your major campaign promises? Of those promises, which will you keep if elected, and which will you instantly go back on the second you're in the chair? Throw in your VP picks and campaign slogans, and please, for Horn Dog's sake, help us forget about the actual presidential races for 10 minutes. Thank you.
Did you watch any of the presidential debate from the other day?
I don't think I can handle that amount of brain poison.
Oh, no, I couldn't either at all. For our international listeners, American politics is the worst thing on the planet. And
it's only gotten worse.
It's really bad, and it's only going to get worse. So just it's great being an American, living in America right now. Absolutely love it. Can't beat it.
Deeply conflicted about my national identity at every opportunity.
All right, so I'm going to spring some stuff on you here.
Okay.
I'm going to put some timers down.
Okay.
Because I don't want this to go on forever.
Okay.
So what we're going to do is we're going to each make a 2-minute opening statement.
Okay.
And then we will be allowed to do a minute rebuttal. And then a final minute closing segment.
Okay.
Each.
Okay.
Okay?
Yep.
And I want to throw out vice president and all that bullshit. I just want the facts, ma'am. I just want your position. What are you going to do? as CEO of Games Workshop?
Because, well, the thing is, my vice president would be you. We'd get bunk beds above Bugman's, and we'd hang out there together. It would be awesome.
Man, it would be great if that was real life, huh?
Absolutely. I can only wish and I can only dream.
All right, so I'm going to invite you to go first. 2 minutes on the clock. I'll tell you when you're done. And make your pitch as to why you would be the best president, or CEO, rather, for Games Workshop. And go.
Too often we rest on the laurels of the past, and in doing so, keep the same kits around for way too fucking long. So I would introduce a practice where every kit would be reviewed and updated at minimum every 15 years, and at probably about every 10 years, because no kit should pass the decade and a half mark with at least some review. I also decree that no sets of dice will come out with symbols on both the ones and the sixes. The monkey's paw may curl on that and it'll make weird or worse dice, but I'm ready to embrace that chaos. I would want to have annual community surveys to get a feel for what people like or don't like, which GW has done every couple of years, but I think they should be annual so we can be a mobile, agile company that actually changes to the needs of what people want. I would also eliminate all fine cast models by 2024 by taking maybe 2 to 3 years of lead time just to kind of figure out what needs to be turned into plastic, what needs to be retired, and so on.
1 minute left.
I would introduce an integrated campaign system that ties together 40k, Kill Team, Epic, and Aeronautic Imperialis together, and campaign books that cover all of these things at once. So a Sabbat Worlds Crusade or an Armageddon book covering all these things. And you heard me say Epic because I would bring Epic back. I think this is coming back anyway, but I want to be sure. I would want redone infantry kits for every faction that needs them, lower prices for all kits, and better pay for people who actually work at Games Workshop. And I would also let them unionize because I don't think they're allowed to. And we have the money. I would get Forge World back on weapon packs and conversion kits and not just 30k stuff. And in an attempt to perfect an already perfect game, I would update 30k to have a modern rule set written by the same people who write the actual game's rules. I'd also update Necromunda and Kill Team to be much more alike. And I think it'd be extremely important to do this because Necromunda owns and Kill Team needs to exist to onboard new players and also be a good game in its own right.
Damn, you nailed that. Your time expired right there. God damn.
Coming in under the clock for me the first time in my life.
It sounds like you want to reform a lot about our chosen hobby.
I do want to reform a lot about it, yes.
All right, well, great news. I don't. So here we go.
Okay, go.
The best thing about 40K listeners and Games Workshop customers is not playing 40K. It's not painting 40K. It's sitting around talking to your buds, remembering all the good times. And if there's one thing that we all can agree on, it's that 5th edition was the best edition of 40K, and I'm going to roll it back, y'all. We're rolling it back to 5th edition. Fuck this 9th, 8th, especially 7th and 6th. They're done. They're gone. It's back. 5th edition. We're back in it. Do you want to fucking charge a unit and then slingshot your dreadnought into an entire battle line of Imperial Guardsmen and kill them all in one turn? Guess what? You can, because it's 5th edition. Templates? Yes. Absolutely. Vehicle facings? Sure. I don't like them. I don't need them anymore. But guess what? It's 5th edition. We're back in it. We're not moving forward. We're staying.
You're halfway through your time.
5th edition. That's all we need. I want more terrible dice. Just the worst dice. Dice that don't even roll. Dice that won't stop rolling. Dice that are only symbols, and each symbol is nothing. It means nothing. And there's no keys for it. They don't help you. I think all models must be painted. If you buy Games Workshop models, you have to sit in your house and paint them. And if you leave your house, I will kick you in the dick. All rules. Digital rules. Get that the fuck out here. All rule books will be printed on spiral bound. Actually, this is a good idea. All rule books need to be printed on spiral bound books because that format kicks fucking ass. And anything that is Tau, Chaos, or Eldar costs double.
Is that it? Is that your time?
That's my time.
All right, you had 9 seconds to go. So I get a minute long rebuttal.
You have a minute long rebuttal. Let me time you. Okay, and begin.
So first of all, you want to make 40K great again. I'm not going to let that one rest. I'm going to let that rest for just a moment. Let that sink in. He wants to make 40k great again in almost exact own words. Coming to people's houses and kicking them in the deck also, I think, qualifies as voter intimidation, which I think is probably not generally okay. Now, introducing chaos dice, that is something you and I think, can both agree, and that is lowercase c chaos dice. I think that's where our Unity ticket can come in. But I do think what you are asking for is to make a markedly worse, markedly more insular, and markedly harder to get into hobby that is actually punitive instead of relaxing. And you even admitted that there are things about your idea that you hate, up to including vehicle facings.
Okay, and that's your time. All right, I would like to rebut you. Will you put a minute on the clock, please?
On it.
And tell me when.
Go.
You know what else sucks about 40k these days? Plastic models, all right? Plastic is terrible. You fucking cut into it, and it cuts and it breaks, and it sucks. What I want to bring back are metal models. That's right. Pewter, baby. You can file that shit down. It's the easiest thing to work with. A big kit, a big pewter kit, nothing beats it, and it's heavy. And as Boris the Blade said in the movie Snatch, if it doesn't work, you can always throw it at him. And I'm talking about him, your opponent, only men from now on.
Oh my fucking God.
No more inclusion, no more tolerance, only shitty, awesome, great men in the hobby from now on. That's it. And they've got to drink a lot of beer and eat a lot of brown food. And that's the rule. And that's how it's going to be. Pewter models and brown food.
You're out of time. Oh, fucking hard heel turn. Oh, it's amazing how we correspond with each other. Not a word about this segment beforehand, and you still took the heel turn.
All right.
I
invite you to make your final 1 minute closing argument whenever you're ready.
Oh, fuck.
You've heard my rebuttal.
I have heard your rebuttal.
You've made your case. So let's do it. You've heard the rebuttal. You've made your case. Let's remind the voters why they would want to vote for you. And go.
It's only fitting that Dan calls it a rebuttal because he made an ass of himself. However, I think we can come together as a community and bond over certain unalienable truths. One is that Warhammer is for everyone, and everyone should be able to enjoy it safely, comfortably, and with the people they choose. The second is that there are great things in our past, and some of them should not be changed. Namely, the Catachan Infantry Squad kit. We reached perfection with that one nearly 30 years ago, 20 years ago, over 20 years ago, and it is still kicking to this day, and I think should stand as a monument to not only
20 seconds.
How far we've come, but how far we can still go, and we will reach that greatness again. I think that the Warhammer community is only getting better, and I can continue it on that pathway and make this a better hobby than it ever has been. Okay. With more Catachans.
Okay. Will you put 1 minute on the clock for me?
Go.
You know what else we need, listeners and voters, is the return of big titty models in the game. If you vote for me, if I become CEO of Games Workshop, I promise you the biggest titties on models you've ever seen. And sculpted lovingly. Just big, supple titties everywhere on every model. Tanks, titties. Fucking dreadnoughts, titties. And titties. Everywhere. Enough of this bullshit. Enough of this not getting all horned up when you're playing war games with your friends. I want to have a boner every single minute of every single day, God damn it. And it's my right to do so. It's my right to put titties on any model I want to. And if I'm elected president and CEO of Games Workshop, I will introduce the new the new titty accessory kit for every faction.
You are out of time.
Okay.
You are out of time.
Okay. Well, voters, go ahead and send us an email at contact@40kbadcast.com with your selection for who becomes president and CEO of Games Workshop.
I no longer want you as my vice president.
Oh, wow. What a terrible podcast we make.
Oh, my God. Jesus. The worst part is we're not done playing characters.
Oh, fuck. It's
Because-
time, isn't it?
It is time for the marquee segment, Fact or Fan Fiction. We're going to go for something a little different this time. Because, Dan, I'm going to invite you to read along with me because
shit.
we're going to be reading a particular piece of fan fiction sent in by a listener. In this case, a listener named Timothy Hales. And this is a fan fiction he wrote for the 40k Cross-Function Challenge. And it is entitled, This One's, plural, for the Horn Space Dogs, a 40k fanfic by an illiterate fan, by Timothy Hales.
Okay.
So, Dan, you'll see my notes here. I've highlighted your lines. I've highlighted my lines.
Wait, have you highlighted them?
Your lines are highlighted yellow.
Oh, I don't see any highlights.
Are you shitting me?
No.
Here's some screenshots of a Word document that I invite you to read along with me on. All
okay.
right.
So I'm reading the yellow.
You'll read the yellow, and the parts that are bolded, I think you'll know what to do with those. All right.
Okay.
This also just about qualifies as masturbation. I'm not going to lie. This is so conceited. This one's for the Horn Dogs, a 40k fanfic by an illiterate fan by Timothy Hales. Brother Captain Boyd surveyed the horizon. He was in a depressive mood. Boyd felt things had not been going well since the events of episode 69. His chapter, The Horn Dogs, had fought well during that engagement, but Boyd had a nagging feeling that their efforts had been suboptimal in recent times. How am I ever going to live up to the triumphs of the great chapter master Tuttle, he mused to himself. Suddenly, a glint on the horizon wrested him from his thoughts. The Horn Dogs' lines had been probed by the orc hordes of war boss Morkio Wagvarati twice already today, and he was not about to let idle thoughts distract him from the task at hand.
Oh, you dumb-faced goober.
Brother Captain Boyd cried out in relief. It was not the orc menace, but Lieutenant Campbell's bald head glistening in the afternoon sun. The patrol Lieutenant Campbell was leading, now clearly in view, was hurriedly making its way back to the Horn Dogs' lines.
Why are you not wearing your helmet?
My apologies, brother. It's Ben.
Oh, fuck. Shit. God damn it. Where is it? Oh, there it is.
It's been
A long day. I have no time to explain, and War Boss Morkio's Fork Boys are right behind us, Lieutenant Campbell replied. Over the horizon, the distinctive sounds of mandolins, guitars, and accordions heralded the arrival of War Boss Morkio Wagvarati's Fork Boys. Screaming across the desert on ramshackle contraptions of war, the orc horde was closing on the Horn Dog's position at a frightening speed. Brother Captain Boyd actioned his bolter and kicked his chainsword into life. Over the roar of the chainsword and the sounds of accordions, Boyd bellowed his chapter's battle cry.
This one's for the Horn Dogs.
The Marines of the chapter responded with the usual barking refrain, and the Astartes of the Horn Dogs chapter braced themselves for the onslaught of War Boss Morkio's Fork Boys. As the Fork Boys closed to within 2 miles, they were met with a wall of steel and explosions as the heavy ordnance of the Horn Dogs fired in unison. Brother Captain Boyd shouted to Lieutenant Campbell, who had taken up position nearby.
Just like episode 69, eh?
Lieutenant Campbell responded confusedly, I guess? Brother Captain Boyd replied angrily.
You never get any of my references.
Just then, an errant rocket fired from an orc buggy exploded in Lieutenant Campbell's vicinity, knocking him from his feet. It's Ben! Stuttered Lieutenant Campbell as he pulled himself to his feet, dazed from the explosion. It's Ben? Over 70 episodes, and you still haven't come to terms with that, have you, brother? Finished Lieutenant Campbell, coming to his senses.
No, I have it.
Fuck you, Baltimore!
replied Brother Captain Boyd as fire spewed forth from his bolter, bringing the Emperor's plural judgment to the Fork Boys, now pressing their position. Rank upon rank of the green tide broke upon the Horn Dogs' lines, but despite this, the Horn Dogs held firm, slaughtering Fork Boys in their thousands. Slowly, the sounds of mandolins, guitars, and accordions dimmed as the Fork Boys of War Boss Morkio Wagvarati were slain or fled. Brother Captain Boyd silenced his chainsword, attempting to wipe the dark red ichor from its serrated teeth on the rags of fallen orcs piled around him. The Horn Dogs had fought well today. They had crushed War Boss Morkio Wagvarati's horde and silenced his infernal accordions. Brother Captain Boyd looked over towards Lieutenant Campbell. His head was still a beacon in the late afternoon sun, and the lieutenant still did not understand half of Brother Captain Boyd's references, but Boyd let it go. Boyd was for a brief moment at peace. Boyd's concerns that the glories of episode 69 would not be repeated had been quelled. Chapter Master Tuttle was a distant memory as he thought to himself, this one had truly been for the Horn Dogs.
Oh my God. Interactive too. What a treat.
Aren't you glad I could welcome you into this space?
Orange you glad.
Oh, orange you glad I didn't say banana.
You got that reference.
Yeah. True fact. So anyway, you know that's fan fiction. Our listeners know that that's fan fiction. Thank you so much to our good friends. Close the tab, opening the tab again. To our good fucking hell.
Timothy Hales, our wonderful illiterate fan. Thank you so much for writing that wonderful piece of literature adjacent content that we could share with the rest of our listeners. Yeah, what a good time that was, huh? Yeah. Now, we're unfortunately about to become the Arriva dudes and say goodbye to all y'all. But before we leave, we got some wonderful stuff we've loved to plug. First and foremost amongst that, teased it last episode, but it's finally here. We have our new Thrilled About These Ribs shirt and grilling apron available at shop.spreadshirt.com/40k Badcast. Some people have already bought these. It's startling the ratio of grilling aprons to t-shirts that have been sold of this particular design. And you know what? I'm thrilled about that. Dude, this is the best thing you've ever made. I'm sorry. It is my favorite thing. The fact that you had I think a coworker of yours or something like that was like, oh my God, I could buy a shirt with Dan on it, and they're not someone who listens to the podcast, means this is our first piece of this is our first crossover. This is our first piece of mainstream merchandise available for just your regular run-of-the-mill Dan fans who are thrilled about ribs. And if you want to learn more about how I designed this shirt, I actually put together a really pretty lengthy blog post on our Patreon, patreon.com/40k Badcast, where I detail how I designed the design, what my influences were on it, how I drew it, and all that stuff. So you can check that out. It's available to everybody, no matter if you're donating just $1 or your mortgage to us, whatever. So check that out on patreon.com/40k Badcast. If you do, I cannot be held responsible for it, but I will probably refund you if something is 4 digits. That's very, very upsetting. Gang, this is the best thing that Campbell has ever made. And I love it. He ripped off the Bob's Big Boy logo to make me holding a plate of ribs. It is my favorite thing. I don't know. Sometimes just good things happen, and this is one of them. So if you like me, and if you like ribs, then I invite you to please pick up either an apron or a t-shirt with me holding some ribs, being thrilled on them. Because like I said, it's just a good fucking thing. I'm glad I could bring you some light in these trying times. Well, we mentioned it earlier, but please email us at contact@40kbadcast.com. We get a lot of great engagement from you, the listener. Send your votes in to who you think should be CEO of Games Workshop. That one's pretty much a layup, so we'll see how many wrong people are out there, because clearly I'm the best candidate. And honestly, we just want to hear from our listeners. We love you guys and girls and people, and we want to be part of your lives, and we want you to be part of our lives. So feel free to reach out to us whenever. If you want to, you can brave the hellscape of social media to contact us. Also, Twitter, I am at DB_sleazy. He is at Brother SRM. Twitter sucks. But if you happen to be on it, drop us a line whenever you want. We have a Facebook group too. That's facebook.com/40k Badcast. I'm not on Facebook, so I don't even know what happens over there. You guys can talk all the shit you want, and I'll never find out.
I share with Dan what I need to from there, which are mostly pet pictures, which is really most of what people should be sending us in the first place. And last but certainly least, we both write for Goonhammer. I've contributed to an article recently on how to paint Napoleonics, and I wrote a review for the Perry Miniatures French Elite Company's kit for like 1807 to 1814 or whatever period of time it is. So go there to read about dad game stuff, or read Dan's columns to read about Necromunda and other things.
I'm looking at your parts to this article right now on the Napoleons. Napoleons?
Yeah. Napoleonics.
Napoleons.
There's only one Napoleon?
No, there were multiple Napoleons.
That's fair. That's fair.
Even I know this, and I don't even play dad games.
I mean, neither do I. I just paint a few figures for them.
Okay. Well, that's it for Plugs, gang. Let's do it, Campbell. Let's get a quote out here so we can end the show and get out of our listeners' lives for the next 2 weeks.
All right. A good soldier obeys without question. A good officer commands without doubt.
There it is. That's just a quote, man. Hard to make a whole lot of jokes about that one. So thanks.
I mean, you'll be thrilled to know that I still write inspuote instead of inspirational quote in my show notes every week.
You're right. I'm thrilled. Can you hear the thrilling thrilledness?
I can hear the trill of the thrill.
Oh, boy. All right.
It is quite thrill.
Thanks for listening. We're the 40k Badcast. We're bad at 40k. You can too. And we will see you in the next cartoon.